No top-flight league spends money quite like the Premier League, which always makes for entertaining battles for success and supremacy. As you might expect, most of the big money transfers have come in the past 5 or 6 years. This can be fairly attributed to transfer fees having undergone major inflation in recent years, although the Prem comes nowhere close to the overall record set by Neymar's move from Barcelona to PSG in 2017, which reportedly cost the French side a staggering £200 million. Unsurprisingly, the clubs in the top tier of English football that are usually associated with luxurious spending are the Big Six, which consists of Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham Hotspur. These are the most successful clubs in the league, have some of the largest fan bases in football, and also boast the richest owners in the game. And now, the top 6 could soon be the top 7 as Newcastle United became the richest football club in the world after being taken over by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund in October 2021. Interestingly though, no club is guaranteed to get the best out of a player who cost an arm and a leg. Some of these professionals have either justified their price tags or could soon prove their weight in gold, while most have been shockingly disappointing. Welcome to Football Attitude's 11 of the most expensive Premier League transfers of all time. 11. Kepa Arrizabalaga, £72 million from Athletic Bilbao to Chelsea. Due to their policy of only fielding players from the Basque region, it's extremely expensive to pluck players away from Spanish club Athletic Bilbao, as Chelsea found out with Kepa Arrizabalaga. The most expensive goalkeeper in the history of the game, Kepa made 53 appearances for Bilbao before he was transferred to Chelsea in 2018. The London Blues splashed £72 million on him as a replacement for Belgian Thibaut Courtois, who had returned to Spain to join Real Madrid, and it's safe to say the gamble never yielded the expected positives. In the 2019-20 Premier League season, Kepa had the lowest save percentage of goalkeepers in the league, conceding 47 goals whilst making just 1.7 saves per 90, the least of any keeper with more than one appearance in the league. The following season, he fell down the pecking order behind Senegalese international Edouard Mendy, his replacement, who was brought in for a much lower £22 million. 10. Nicolas Pepe, £72 million, from Lille to Arsenal. Arsenal's hopes of finding a natural goal scorer were thought to have been addressed following the signing of Nicolas Pepe from French club Lille in the summer of 2019. The Ivorian was tipped to succeed in the Premier League following an outstanding season with Lille in 2018-19, scoring 23 goals and registering 12 assists in 41 games. In the 2019-20 season, his first in England, Pepe managed a disappointing 5 goals in 31 appearances, a stark contrast to his final campaign in France. In the 2020-21 season, he scored 10 goals in 29 games, with only striker Alexander Lacazette scoring more goals than the Ivorian in the league for the Gunners. Although a modest return, Pepe was a mainstay in the team, with the following season representing a chance to really cement himself as a starter in Arteta's side. Instead, he fell lower down the pecking order after scoring only 1 goal in his 20 league appearances. Considered a massive flop, a move back to France or Spain looks likely for the winger, and hopefully he can find the right fit at a club with a trusting manager where he can show the qualities that made him so deadly for Lille. 9. Jadon Sancho, £73 million, from Borussia Dortmund to Man United. The Red Devils had been locked in negotiations with the German club for well over a year with regards to the England international, having failed to first sign him in the summer of 2020. Dortmund initially remained firm on their £100 million valuation of the player, which dropped to 85 million, with the club eventually settling for a lesser fee of 73 million. Sancho joined the Premier League giants in the summer of 2021 after 4 years in the Bundesliga, where he won the German Cup in his final season and scored 50 goals across 137 appearances. However, the former Manchester City youth player endured a disappointing debut campaign with United, delivering only 5 goals and 3 assists in 38 appearances in all competitions. Sancho was well productive in pre-season before the current 2022-23 season commenced, with 3 goals in 4 games, and the 22-year-old forward believes there is more to come from him as an individual and United as a collective as they kickstart an exciting new era under Dutch coach Erik ten Hag. 8. Virgil van Dijk, £75 million, from Southampton to Liverpool. Arguably the most important signing in Liverpool's recent history, Virgil van Dijk changed the fortunes of the club for the better after his arrival from fellow English side Southampton in January 2018. The Dutch centre-half made an instant impact as he helped the Reds win the Champions League in his second season after making back-to-back finals and ended their 30-year drought to be crowned champions of England in 2020. Van Dijk's importance and leadership was highlighted by the Reds' poor form in 2020-21 once he was sidelined through a knee injury he suffered in the Merseyside derby. Deemed by many as arguably the best centre-back in the league, it's safe to say that £75 million was money well spent. 7. Romelu Lukaku, £75 million, from Everton to Man United. The Belgian forward arrived at United after spending 4 splendid seasons with Everton, where he bagged 87 goals in 166 appearances. He made a strong start, scoring 10 goals in his first 9 appearances for the 13-time Premier League champions, eventually finishing the campaign with an impressive return of 27 goals in 51 games. However, Lukaku would find his second season at Old Trafford a much sterner test. The forward came under intense scrutiny after a 12th-game run without a goal, which forced Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to drop him after the Norwegian replaced Jose Mourinho as manager. All in all, Lukaku's second season had seen him record 12 goals in the Prem, a very underwhelming return given his transfer fee, coupled with the fact that he was already well accustomed to the league. United would eventually sell him to Italian big boys Inter Milan in 2019, with Lukaku later revealing the reasons for leaving was because he was often made the scapegoat in poor performances, in addition to the club's failure to protect him against rumors about his future. Nevertheless, he went on to have outstanding performances in Italy and certainly left everyone affiliated with Man United wondering if they made the right choice. 6. Kai Havertz, £76 million, from Bayer Leverkusen to Chelsea. Kai Havertz initially became Chelsea's most expensive signing when they spent £76 million to prize him away from German club Bayer Leverkusen in September 2020. The attacking midfielder was one of the most sought-after young talents in the Bundesliga at the time. In his first full season with Chelsea, 2020-2021, Havertz scored just 9 goals in 45 appearances for the Blues. Although not the best return given his price tag, his form could be swept under the rug as the young German had contracted COVID twice, together with sustaining a couple of niggling injuries. He did give Chelsea their most memorable moment in recent times, though, scoring the winner against Manchester City in the 2021 Champions League final, which, incidentally, was his first goal in the competition. Still only 23, the technically gifted German has enough time to justify his transfer fee. 5. Harry Maguire, £80 million, from Leicester City to Man United. Maguire's impressive performances for England at the 2018 World Cup and his solid form for Leicester convinced United to fork out £80 million to pull him away from the King Power Stadium in the summer of 2019. The then 26-year-old became the most expensive defender in football history, surpassing Virgil van Dijk's £75 million price tag. Maguire initially impressed at Old Trafford and was even handed the captain's armband in 2020 after Ashley Young departed the club for a stint in Italy. Unfortunately, the 6'4" centre-half has since struggled with the weight of that added responsibility. He was briefly dropped last season by interim manager Ralf Rangnick after a string of costly errors as United finished the campaign in 6th with 58 points, their lowest points tally of the Premier League era. New manager Erik ten Hag has confirmed Maguire will retain the captaincy at least for now, but could find his position under threat with new signing Lisandro Martinez ready to snatch his spot. 4. Anthony Dos Santos, £82 million, from Ajax to Man United. Man United landed Antony on transfer deadline day this season, a player who was a priority for new manager Ten Hag. After all, the 22-year-old Brazilian had dazzled in the Eredivisie under the Dutch boss since joining Ajax in 2020 from Sao Paulo, bagging a total 23 goals and 23 assists on the way to lifting back-to-back titles and a Dutch Cup. Quite simply, the young attacking midfielder is a game changer and a player Ten Hag believes is some way from reaching his full potential. Impressively, this was present for everyone to see as Antony scored on his United debut, his goal unlocking the gates to a thrilling 3-1 win over Arsenal. Only time will tell with Antony, but Ten Hag knows him well and is prepared to stake his own reputation on his judgment being proved right. The Dutch boss has also identified the qualities he believes can be transferred to the Premier League and has no doubts about his temperament and whether the young Brazilian can handle the pressure of such a big move. Fun fact, this was the second biggest deal ever concluded on the final day of the transfer market, with Tottenham Hotspur's sale of Gareth Bale to Real Madrid for £83.5 million in 2013, still holding the title. 3. Paul Pogba, £93 million, from Juventus to Man United. Pogba's return to Man United in 2016 after 4 years at Juventus caused a social media frenzy when the deal was struck. #Pogba trended worldwide as the midfielder completed a then world record move back to the club where he developed as a youth player from 2009 to 2012. So much was the hype that Pogba's announcement video was followed by an Adidas-sponsored music clip featuring English rapper Stormzy. It was supposed to be the start of something special, a new era for a club still struggling to find its feet after the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson 3 years earlier. Unfortunately, the talented Frenchman was unable to inspire United to past and proud glories. The 2017 League Cup and Europa League were the only trophies to show of his 6-season spell at Old Trafford. Coming under intense scrutiny, largely because of the money spent on him, Pogba ended up frustrating fans and pundits alike with inconsistent performances and/or raising the quality of his game when only playing for France. When fit and firing, he was arguably United's most creative and influential player, but his yo-yo performances failed to convince everyone. He left the club this summer to return to Juventus again for nothing, as he did 10 years ago. Pogba cannot solely be blamed for United's lack of success, but his departure signals an underwhelming end to a transfer that promised so much. 2. Romelu Lukaku, £98 million, from Inter Milan to Chelsea. After signing for Chelsea from Anderlecht at a young age, Lukaku would move out on loan to West Brom and then Everton before joining the Toffees permanently. He would start for Everton before earning the aforementioned £75 million transfer to Manchester United. The forward would eventually fall out of favour and join Inter in 2019, where he reignited his scoring touch, finding the back of the net 64 times in 95 appearances and helped secure Inter their first Scudetto in 11 years. Chelsea, desperately seeking a goal scorer to lead the attack, made the Belgian powerhouse their club record signing in the summer of 2021, shelling out £98 million for his services. However, despite a bright start, Lukaku struggled to adapt to German manager Thomas Tuchel's requirements. The goals dried up and Lukaku did not help his cause by publicly stating in the now infamous Sky Italia interview that much of his unhappiness at Chelsea stemmed from how he was utilized by Tuchel, plus a desire to return to Italy. After being left out of the squad, the striker worked his way back in but never quite convinced. Lukaku did get his wish after all, as Chelsea allowed him to rejoin Inter on loan for the current 2022-23 season. 1. Jack Grealish, £100 million, from Aston Villa to Man City. Grealish became the most expensive British player in history when he joined City from Villa last summer for a record fee of £100 million. The 27-year-old midfielder emerged as one of the most exciting players in the Premier League with the Villains, and in the 2020-21 season recorded the third highest tally of assists in the top flight despite missing 3 months of action. Even before the 2020 Euro started, he was the subject of interest from both Manchester clubs who were looking into the possibility of acquiring the homegrown talent. Grealish's stock would rise during the tournament when he came off the bench to play a role in both goals as England defeated Germany in the first knockout stage. City would eventually trigger his 9-figure release clause, but so far he's yet to live up to the hype at the Etihad. He managed only 6 goals in 39 games in all competitions and helped City successfully defend their Premier League crown last season. Although yet to show the quality of his Villa days, Grealish isn't the first player to struggle to adapt to Pep Guardiola's high standards and demanding style of play. It's far too early to label him as a flop, but he could find himself under huge pressure this season if the goal contributions fail to match the desired expectations.